Why does Odoo exist and why is it doing so well? Well, when you arrive at Odoo, actually Fabien explains it himself to you. He comes at your onboarding and he shows you his slide from his kids probably 15 years ago, still the same one. And he tells you Odoo has one objective: make the life of every company easier so you can focus on what really matters. So during the different years, Odoo grew to cover every need: CRM, sales, not yet payroll, accounting, inventory. But as Fabien said yesterday, there was one piece missing, and it was payroll. And there is a good reason for that. No ERP system covers it. There is no other ERP system that does a global solution that is very complete and easy to use, because all the legislation are very complex and it changes country from country. But Odoo doesn't care about difficulty. That's why during the past few months, all the team has been working so hard to bring payroll into the light and to make it very powerful. And today, we are very happy to show you the results. I'm with David, product owner of the HR Scope, and myself, Pierre Quenen, business analyst and HR expert. Feel free to scan the QR code for your question. I will give you some seconds for that, and we will take all of them at the end of the talk. All right.
Don't worry, the QR code will be there again when the Q&A section will be there. And me, I will talk about the three main axes of how we did the development for the payroll application this year. So the first axis is the common one among all applications on Odoo. It's simple by design. We have worked really hard to make it the simplest payroll application in the world. And why? It's because everything is there in Odoo and everything is integrated with other applications. Your time off, your employee app, your attendances, your accounting, everything is in the same place and communicate with each other. The second thing is that it's intuitive. We've made interfaces that could be used by Fabian children. That's our main goal at the end. The third one is that it's blazing fast. We work very hard to be sure that our databases can handle any load of people, and that's why we can even use it ourselves in Odoo to pay our own employees.
So being simple, being fast is very important, but we still need powerful features. Because it's so complex, we need a powerful core and a powerful features that will make it possible to cover every cases. The first case is that we need first to encode the data, or the employees data, the time data. So we have a lot of features that will help you with that to make sure you cover every cases. As soon as you encode everything, that you will be able to manage your payslip month by month. And with the new features, it will be very easy to validate everything, make sure everything was done correctly, save a lot of time, and then have beautiful reports to make sure you do the payroll as best as possible.
And our last axis was to be ready for the world. And actually, this slide is from last year's presentation. And it was only a dream last year, and this year we made it almost a reality. And we know that our payroll system can be used by anywhere in the world. We just need time to make the localization, and not all of them are available yet, but soon they will be. And it's simple. A little bit of history. At first, Odoo basic needs was I need to pay my employees, and I pay a lot of money to a Belgian institution to do that. And Fabien just came to us saying, I don't see the point. It's not that complicated. Let's do it ourselves. In 2021, it was done. Odoo, since then, is paying its own employees, its Belgian employees, on Odoo system, and each month we receive correctly our payslips without any problem. And you might ask yourself, does it cost more?
It doesn't.
Of course not.
Yeah, in some other software you can pay up to 10 euro, 20, 30 euro per pay slip, basically the price of one user at Odoo. And in Odoo, with one user, you can create as many pay slips as you want for as many employees as you want.
And even correction don't cost you a dime more if you know what you are doing.
That being said, let's show you the first feature. The first one, linked to the employee, is how we're gonna set up our employee and save time here. Save time by having less error and less time of encoding.
So when you manage your employee, you need two sides. Manage the new employees and your existing one. Here we are showing you how to manage employee promotion. You can know you already could make offer to employee, but we made the screen even simpler, and with a recapitulative section for the salary information, where you can quickly see the gross, the net, and the benefits, and also the most important for the company owners, the company cost. What will really go out each month or each year to pay your employee.
So as soon as you have the offer, before you would have a new contract. Well, it's not the case anymore, because now there is no more contract. Doesn't mean you are not being paid, but like previous year when we merged subscription and sales order to make it simpler, we did the same this year, but with contract and employee. Now all the information about the contract is in the payroll tab here. So it will be even faster to encode all the information about the contract and the employee. But sometimes it happens that one employee can have more contracts at a time, or he can change contracts. So I'm not going to create a new employee, of course, every time. Well, that's why we also have the versioning. The versioning, as you can see an example over there, is the fact that every time I'm going to change the information about my contract, I will create a new employee record, kind of a version of that employee, linked to a specific date. So I can still manage like I was doing it before, but with less time of encoding. This makes it faster, but it is a lot of great functionality that goes with it. Typically, now with this versioning, you have a complete employee history. That means every time I'm gonna change information that are payroll relevant, for example, the marital status, I can say when that change occurred. Because often employees won't tell you at the day they have their wedding, they're not gonna tell you at that time. So then now you have a possibility to do a new version and correct that.
And in case of control, tax control, audits, everything is there in one place for your employees, and you can quickly check the value in the past or in the future and set up everything you need for your payroll.
But we are telling you it very fast. Let's show it in a database. I'm in my new database, and now I will go directly in my payroll application and see my employees. So I have one employee for David. Let's take you, and I can create a new offer because David has been working very hard.
I really did.
Yeah, thank you for all the work you did. So let's think of the growth we can do for the new offer. Because at Odoo we have the offer for the new employees, but even year after year you can create new offers with different salaries. And
I
so
just heard someone in the public say 10,000 per month.
10,000, okay.
Yeah. But it's from the public. It's
okay.
like
not from you, of course.
Yeah, no, not from me. I would never.
So what's great is that now I'm just adapting the salary, and directly I can see the result in my salary simulation. So I'm happy with it. I can save it.
I am happy with it.
You're happy with it as well?
Too.
Well, what's great is that I can. All right, let me first change the contract template because you are here for our job as a developer. Now I can save, and I can send you directly this new offer through the salary configurator. So I could send it by email, but let's click on it to showcase what David really received by a mail. So that's the salary configurator. It's not a brand new feature, we already had it, but now it's easier to use, and it can be used in many countries, even just for the personal information. It really helps you save time.
And if you ever want to work at Odoo, that's how you will personalize your own package. So feel free to apply.
So what's great is that now you can choose typically the number of time off you would like how many extra time off. More?
Yeah, more, please.
So what's great is that you see your net,
Yeah.
but it will have an impact, of course. So let's say you have 15 days, and now it will recompute the net you will actually get. So I can really customize every need and see the result in my net. If I have a small family, I'm really focused on my job, I might take less extra days off, less fuel, and then I can also adapt it.
It will really help you improve your time management in your recruitment pipe and your day-to-day operation, because you just let the employee choose its own benefits, and you just need to sign the contract electronically after with the sign up. So it's really a huge win.
But even for the one not using this salary configurator, we can show how fast it is to create a new contract. I'm on my employee, I go to the payroll tab. Let's say this one was the old one, we can close it. So let's say it's ended at the beginning of the month, and I create a new contract starting the day after.
Maybe you should end the contract end of last month, no?
I can do so.
You can go back in the January one and just change the date.
Yeah, what's great is that I see exactly the new version created. So now I have a new version with the new contract, but if I did a mistake like I just did, I can quickly go on my previous version, see the updated information, and now I'm gonna change it
to 1 of August.
Perfect.
I think it's more logical to start your new contract on the next month.
I go back to September, put it at the first of the month. I will adapt the wage as not you, someone asked.
So yeah, one more, yeah.
Perfect, 1 more 0, I think that's enough. And now I already have my new contract with the new version. And if I want to see previous version, I can always have the history button here that will show me all the previous information, like the contract history before. I can go back, and I can also go on the other version and change not the contract information, but typically the personal information. So maybe David didn't tell me, but he already had one children, and I can adapt that easily on a version. So now every payslip correction will be way easier.
Yeah. And all my kids will be named after Fabien, don't worry.
All right, so that's the way it has been improved to set up everything correctly. Let's now showcase the next feature. Yep, here you go.
So now that you manage to your employees and their basic needs, there are still some things that you can manage on your employees and that you can edit. So we have added some new features really nice for payroll, and especially for the first one, thinking about America, where it's a common use case over there to be paid on several bank accounts. Now it's as easy as going on the bank accounts field in the employee, set up a certain allocation where you can choose to be a percentage or a fixed amount, and that's it. You will see the result on your payslips, and the net salary will correctly be divided between the two, or the three, or the many bank accounts you can have. And many of those use cases, okay, I want some part of my salary being paid on a saving account or a joint account with my wife, or a pension account. Whatever you want or need, you can now do for this feature.
Yes, that covers many use cases. And the next feature I'm going to show you is the way we can now configure a rule and add it on your employee. So the very big focus of this version was to improve the tool, because with a strong core, we can then manage every use cases. And this new feature is typically that. Before you had simple salary rule that would give you the computation simple to how to go to your gross to your net. But now we have made it simpler, because if you would have added the Belgium localization, you would have 100 fields because there is so many use cases. Now I can say that the salary rule is an input. So what does it mean? It means that based on the different value I'm showing here, I can have different units, and this amount, this input, will be set up on my different employees, and then I can choose a specific input in a moment. So you will see in the demo just after that, it's going to be way clearer, but now what you can already know is that this opens a variety option to keep it strong and simple at the same time.
Yeah, So that also means that now, if you or a client needs a really personalized benefits, you can now add it on the fly really simply.
Yeah. If you show the next one, you see on the employee how you can add these inputs. And basically all the inputs will be already available if you have a localization, but you can choose which inputs you add for your company. Because maybe in your company it's not relevant to have meal voucher or a phone subscription, but you will have commission. And so you can
Or
really
representation
choose,
fee maybe and things like that.
typically you can really have that on your employee.
And then we have remade the salary attachment. If you knew before, that was what they were called, into salary adjustment. And now you can control all of them simply directly from your employee's profile. So if you need to put some child support or alimony, you can put everything on the tab salary adjustment, and you can decide an end date with a total amount where once you have deducted enough from your employee through all these pay slips, the salary adjustment will stop on its own. Or you can decide very easily to click stop or restart to handle the statuses of those salary adjustments. But let's show that on our live database. So I think we can begin by the most technical one, so we get that out of the way. But if we were to create a new salary rule, if you don't know yet, but our salary structure is something that will control how you pay in the country will be computed from gross to net, like Pierre just explained. And let's create a new rule. So a custom representation fee. We put a code on it, and it will be an allowance present on the employee monthly pay in Belgium. And it's as simple as creating a salary input that you will decide will go on the employee's profile. You can even customize them into sections, and let's say custom bonuses will be our custom section in the employee profile, decide of a unit and a suffix. So let's say here it will be paid per month, and we won't put a default value because we don't need one, since it will be proper to each employee. You can also put a description, and you can also make it depend on other rules so that your computation is always up to date and take into account what you just created. Then it's as simple as going into an employee record on the payroll tab, and you can add your input. So I am at custom representation fees, and you will see that there is a custom section now. It's actually a properties behind it, and it's directly linked to your salary rules. And to compute correctly your salary and to send the money to the best place, well, you can now, like I showed you before, just put a new bank account and decide of an allocation between them.
So you know,
and of course,
you know yours by heart.
Yeah, of course I know. You don't know all your bank accounts by heart?
All right.
I wish I knew the one of Fabien, but you know. Always, never forget to check the send money checkbox. It's important to actually validate all your bank account inputs, because it's money and you don't want your employee to be angry at you. You save, and then you decide what percentage you want. And let's try to have 150% of salary.
Yeah, let's try.
I cannot, unfortunately. So Odoo won't let you make basic mistakes like that. And like I said before, you can also decide of a fixed amount that will be deposited in the units of your company.
Maybe for the kid you didn't talk about.
My kid is...
Just sorry.
Yeah, don't worry. But my kid will arrive later on. And actually for my kid that I didn't talk about, I need to pay him some child support.
All right.
So, like I said, you can just add a salary adjustment, choose the type you want that you can pre-configure before, and decide of an amount. Yeah, this one is not worth that much. Don't worry, it's only a joke. Little Fabien doesn't exist yet. So you can easily decide of a time limit. It can be a one shot, a limited amount, let's say that I will only pay it for 10 months, but I still love him, so I will pay it for an unlimited amount of time, and I can amount to be paid to my ex-wife that doesn't exist yet neither. And that's it. You have a salary adjustment, and we'll see later that it will be reflected on all the payslips.
Yeah. And what is actually very crazy is that you see that everything is now at the same place. Before you had to jump from one menu to the other to do all of that. Now everything is at the same place. It's very simple, but it covers so many use cases. And that's why with this same tool, we are able to cover many localization that we'll talk about later.
Yes.
All right, so we set up our employees with the contract or the payroll information.
Yes.
We know how we can customize rules, very important for some country where you do your own localization. And now, month by month, you have to follow the time spent by your employee, then to make sure you pay them the correct amount. Before, that was the view of the work entries. So the work entries is the time spent by your employee when they worked, when they were off. And as you can see, what's not the clearest. You don't really know how much time spent. You have several for the same days. Very hard to edit. Well, we've completely revamped that view. Please show them.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Boom! And it goes further. What you can see in this view is that now it's very clear how much time spent by each employee. It's very hard to edit. I can very easily select one or more work entries, change them, replace them, and that makes it very easy for HR officer to follow the correct time of each employee. So that can be also the first thing you can use even if you're not using payroll with your localization. Because we guess that soon everything will be done in Odoo, but if right now your localization is not there yet, well, you still have a powerful tool to make sure that the right time is encoded. Of course, those work entries are related with attendance, time off, planning, but you can also adapt everything there and then send it to your payroll provider.
Yeah. Here, for example, I just click replace on this little wizard, and the work entries were correctly replaced for a compensation time off. Also, talking about UX, we have worked a lot to rework the batches of payslips that we had before. If you knew about our payroll before, we had just one little model of which was just a collection of payslips with no more information than that. Here we added a system of pay runs. A pay run is a period and a list of payslips, but it's also a mean for you to check the issues you can have on some payslips, and also a quick overview on what it will cost you each month for your employee. And if you click on one, you can actually see the details of each payslips really quickly. And thanks to our internal links, you can click on the issue and quickly resolve it. And if you don't have the time, you can always take the payslip out of the pay run to correct it on a later time if you wish to do so. And all of the version in talk and the employee record that we introduced will allow you to correctly detect and allow the system to automatically detect a need for correction, which is amazing because if you have to backtrack something in your employee profile, the system will detect it automatically, and you can then decide what to do with this payslip, either adjust only this one or all the affected one by the change on the related employee record.
Yeah, because we really have the focus on the HR officer, the end user, to make their life easier. So less errors and a lot of time saved.
Exactly. So I can show you what you should do on the end of the month is check all your employee time. And okay, it's weird here because maybe I'm missing some time, or maybe Pierre, I think you have worked a lot also for the OXP, and maybe you did some overtime over the 2 last days. Let's add you some overtime. How much time do you think you did in
I
extra?
don't know, probably 4 hours.
4
and
hours.
Yesterday even more, but I don't know if it counts as work.
I mean, the party and the concert does not go into overtime,
okay.
no. And I think I did a very good job, so I will just allow myself some compensatory day.
So like the wage you choose yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
You don't do that?
I don't know.
Oh, you
I don't-
should. You
I
should
don't
try.
have the access rights.
You should try. And I just clicked on add. It was a mistake. Let's just delete those work entries and replace them with actually the correct one. And it's simple as that.
Very
That's
easy.
what is amazing. I just did a non-planned error on stage and I just corrected in 10 seconds. So that's what amazing. And now to generate the payslips according to those work entries, you just have to click on one button. You generate your pay run and boom, it's just there. So you have, as I said before, a quick overview of your costs of the month and the status of your payslips. And since everything is integrated in Odoo, you just have to create your draft entry for the accounting app, validate it, and okay. Now we see we have a little problem on Pierre. Apparently you didn't give us your bank account.
I told you I didn't know it by heart.
Yeah, if you want, I know mine by heart, so I can add it.
Yes, just go for it.
But apparently yours is
Okay.
already registered on the system, so let's just add it, go back to your parents, and everything seems fine. And in a lot of country, you have specific payment reports, and we already support some of them, be it NACHA for the US or CSV, and we also allow SEPA for European payments. And let's just generate a simple CSV here that you can instantly download. And we can also try to check in our payslips that were instantly were created, and we can see that in mine, in the salary computation, I have normally a child support somewhere. Or maybe it's on the other page. Amount to be paid to my ex-wife. It's actually the description I put that is there, and you see that it was the 50 euros I decided just before. So everything is ready. Let's say the bank just confirmed that your payment was sent to your employees. You can now mark the parent as paid, and it's simple. It's as simple as that. So what if you need to correct something that you just did even though you sent the payment? Well, no problem. Let's just create a record. Let's say I had a child and I forgot to tell HR people about it. Little Fabien is alive, and I can go back to my payslip on the pay runs and click, and you will see some warning about how my version was updated since the payslip was done. And I can just decide to correct this payslip or correct all affected ones, because my version was already concerned several payslips before that. But here I will just correct this payslip and I will see the difference. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I think it's time to do the assessment of our different localization.
Yeah, let's go for it. So what you were just now able to see is that the very focus, as I said before, is the tool. And with all the feature we just showed you, we are confident we have a very strong basis that can be used all over the world. And we have actually proof for that because we already did it. Already for the first continent, maybe you can show the available localization. We already have quite a few for Europe or America. Typically, we of course have Switzerland and Mexico that are certified, so live and with legislation. So those we already have linked with the government. Typically for Belgium, we are using it internally, and we are working to cover way more commission paritaire. And you can see already a list of other countries. Typically, ask ourselves what's the situation of your country, because it can be very different from one case to the other. And here in the Middle East and Africa, you can always see all the one we already have. We have a lot more than that, but the difference there is that you can really easily do your localization yourself. So that's what we did. That's what we do every day with the team of consultants. And so I was not able to show the full list, but make sure that we can cover your country now.
Exactly, but I still have some more country to show because we didn't skip Asia and Australia. It's already there, and actually, if you saw the talk of Lionel this morning, we are actually live on the Australian payroll with all connection available. You will see a bit later. We will detail all the certification that we did, and we have also ongoing the developments because we hate the status quo in Odoo, and that is all the countries that we are working on at the moment, and that that will be coming soon to Odoo. And don't worry, if you think the list is too few, it's because actually listing 20 or 30 countries in one slide was not appealing at all. And we have many more developments in going, especially in Africa. And more complex countries will come too, like France and Germany in a later time. But don't worry about it. Our ambition stays to cover the world globe at the end of the day.
Yeah, and when we're talking about those 3 certified countries, it's because those countries actually have a certification. Some actually don't, but for those, it's really managed by the government, so it's very easy to say, yeah, we do 100% of what's needed. So let's showcase already what we did for those 3 certified. Typically Switzerland, we had the certification in March, and since then we have had such great feedback on the localization. It works very well. We have more than 10,000 payslips generated with the module. It's live on more than 600 paying databases. We now are training partners, fiduciaries, and clients with the Odoo Academies. We have already trained more than 200 people. We have one in 2 weeks in Lausanne if you want to join. 11 master class about payroll sold. So if you are our partners and you want to know more about the payroll module, feel free to register. And since then, we have answered way more than 100 payroll requests. And what we mean by that is that first, we help you if you don't know everything about the module, but also a lot of those are feedbacks. And so we take them into account, and we have a strong software, very easy to adapt, and so those adaptations really come very fast.
Yeah.
And typically, Jürgen, managing the localization, will show what he did in this talk just after the
yes,
just after
exactly.
hours.
At 5:30, you have a dedicated show to Switzerland and SwissDeck, if you want. And you were talking about how easily Odoo is adaptable, and I think we can showcase it because at the other side of the globe, with super strict payroll rules, we managed to have the certification in Australia, and it's fully compliant with STP, so it's single touch payroll phase 2 and a SuperStream API that communicates directly with the government. And in Australia, for those who don't know, they have a lot of very strict rules about payroll and everything that touch money. So you cannot have a session lasting longer than 30 minutes. You have to be disconnected unless you put your password again and things like that. And even if those are more constrained on our product, we can adapt and manage that on specific project, and you will be able to try out for your clients, or if you are Australian, the payroll yourself with Odoo 19.
Then just another one. There is also Mexico that is now live. They now have the stamping. I see that Diego is in the room, so if you have Mexican question, feel free to ask him. He knows way better than I do. And just the idea is to show you that with the same core module, we cover 3 countries certified that have nothing to do with one another. That means now we are ready and confident that we can tackle way more localization.
Exactly. And I think it's time to do a little summary of what we just explained in this 40 minutes.
So the first point, if you can show it, is that we have now an intuitive, fast,
I think my screen just froze.
and a powerful.
I know.
Ah, no, it works.
Sorry.
And a powerful tool. So payroll is now so strong with powerful features, easy to use, fast to encode, saves time for everybody, error prone, and really helps you with your day-to-day payroll management.
Exactly.
Then we have one tool to rule them all. As I was saying, this tool is the same basics. We didn't change anything for those certification, just the specificities that need to be done for the for the certification and link to the
Exactly.
government.
It
So
is the same engine behind them all,
Yeah.
and the core application hasn't been adapted. It's all that touches this core system that has been adapted, and we can do it for many more countries if needed.
And finally, we finally do have the missing piece without any additional cost. So you have a crazy value for the same price. So if we can have a small conclusion,
Just jump aboard the hype
Yeah.
train, and payroll for the world is now possible with Odoo with a cheap cost, and all of your clients will see the value very soon. Even if they don't have the localization yet, it will come, don't worry about it.
thank you very much.
So yeah, thanks a lot. It's time for the Q&A, so don't hesitate to scan and ask us questions. We'll be there to answer, and if you think about other questions, don't forget the HR and payroll booth. Ask away.
Well, very good job, guys. Thank you for this talk. Thank you for all the insights you gave. I think this was something we wanted to see for a long time, and we've got plenty of questions. Congratulations to you guys, but also to all the R&D teams for the work you've done. So let's start with the questions, since we have a bit of time, so we'll take our time to answer all of them. The first one is about the link with social secretaries. So people are also talking about the Dimona in Belgium, but also other kind of declarations that we can have monthly.
The
on
DRS and things like that.
things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So wait, just let me check. I think. Yeah, what is the main links we can do with social secretaries mainly?
For now, at the moment, and we can show what we have in Belgium, we only have some exports that are available. Basically, you can export to Partena, to Acerta, to Group S, and we don't have a full integration because that is not the Odoo way. The basic of that is that we will do it at a later time ourselves, and that is actually what is in the plan in Belgium. So for those of you that know the topics, there is a new eGov 3.0 that is coming, and we're working very hard already to implement it to be ready for 2028 to be fully compliant. So while we don't have those integration right now, we will have them in the future for sure.
And we already know that there is big thing coming up, because some social secretary have seen our tool and they've seen how powerful it is. And so now what we think is that the tool will be the basic of the computation, but that we will have help for the legal part of it, which is not our specialty.
Okay, so also as you explained for other countries, the main issue for the moment is not the engine itself.
Yeah.
It's really the
Having
knowledge you
information
need.
and the documentation.
Exactly, and we are working with a limited team of developers. We already expanded more. We already doubled the size since January, and the ambition is to grow as the accounting team. But it will take time, and with that we're going to have more acceleration, more velocity about the localization developments. But don't worry about it; it will come very soon.
Yeah, so to summarize on that as well, so for Belgium, you've got plenty of exports available. If you're looking for them, you can just type export in the apps and you will find them by filtering on Belgium. And then also, it's just to mention, but some social secretaries, they've been working on their own module.
Yes.
So this can be an option if you're really looking to find a more complete solution, but in the end, as you said, we will do it ourselves. So
Exactly.
yeah. Okay, thank you guys for that. How do you make the link with payroll suppliers? We've talked about that, but do we have other links that we are thinking of for other payroll providers? Because we've got the question about other countries. I don't know, France, or what's our position about that?
Typically, there is other country where payroll is very complicated. And so we know that we are not going to have all the rules by the end of the year or in the 6 following months. So for those, we are looking into communication, typically in France, with a big software like Silae, maybe PFIT. So those are on the table. The idea was like last year when we did this talk, payroll was just starting. Now we have the tool. Now the next step is the localization. So it's going very fast. It's not a dream. Now it's really something for tomorrow. So you really have to check with us for your country. Things are changing so fast. It was totally different like at the beginning of the year. So ask us, make sure you come to the booth, and always be on the alert if your country is now ready to be used in Odoo.
Yeah, thank you for that. So we've got plenty of questions very dedicated to some of the countries, probably people in the audience. So I've got the question for Poland, for Germany, for other countries. I think you summarized all of them.
Yeah.
But you will
Feel
discuss
free to
it,
join us
Yeah.
at the booth for a
Exactly.
specific question, so we can stay on the more global
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
that-
if we have
that-
10 countries here, it will not be of interest of a lot of people in the room, but there are enough people at the HR booth, included ourselves, and we can answer any question you may have on the existing or future localizations.
Can you maybe describe, I know it's a more Belgian market question, because people are talking about ProTime, which is a time management recording tool.
Yeah.
But the question really is, can you use Odoo to actually replace a ProTime, for instance?
Well, ProTime is very good at the attendance part, but Odoo is way more complete than ProTime because we have a full ERP system. And before I would not have said yes, but now with the new attendance feature, we really cover a lot of cases. So maybe you didn't follow the talk just before about what's new in attendance, but what you can see is that we can badge and have way more specific rules, because like in payroll, in attendance, we also improve the tool, the engine behind it, so we can cover again many cases.
Yeah, exactly. So now in attendance you can define rule sets that will calculate the extra hour depending on some quantity or timing, like if you go over 40 hours on a week or 8 hours on a day, it will calculate the various rates and different work entry types. You can choose what type of work entry will produce those over time and have everything in one place in the work entry in the payroll application to check and validate those extra hours.
Yeah, I think you made the perfect link to my next question, because the next question is about extra hours. So some people are asking, I will ask you the question, but I'm pretty sure that actually there must be a misconfiguration somewhere in that question. But the question is, when extra hours are recorded from the attendance app, it puts the hours under attendance work entry type. So why aren't overtime work entries created when extra hours are recorded from the attendance app?
Well, normally if you have a specific work schedule and that you badge in, badge out over the schedule, the difference should be recorded as an overtime. So I don't know if it's a misconfiguration or a bug, but that never happens at Odoo.
Never,
But if
of
it's
course.
a bug, you can do a ticket support. If it's different, feel free to join us so we can see the specific.
Yeah, maybe
specific case.
you can go to the booth after the talk and we can answer your question with your live database to see the configuration.
Yeah, indeed, it's better to check directly in the database to see what happens over there. I will skip some of the questions because I think it's also related to the localizations again. Some people are asking for a roadmap. I'm not sure if it's the roadmap of the payroll feature or if it's a roadmap again about localizations.
Yeah.
So do
So-
we share a roadmap or how does that work?
Well, what we can tell you is that now we really believe the tool is good. We have some small features coming up to make sure we cover everything. And then we have all those countries we are working on. And we don't have a very specific roadmap because it's really also depending
Well,
on the opportunity.
Actually, we at least have the ongoing developments
Yeah.
for the localizations and for the ongoing features. Well, maybe we will have to develop or attune some existing feature, but we really believe that in the payroll side, everything is there. Maybe on the generation of the work entries from attendance or planning and things like that, maybe there are something to improve. And if we go over them and if we encounter those use cases, or if you can share some of those use cases to us, we can think of some way to improve them. But the main focus here on payroll will be the ongoing developments of localizations. And those localizations will nourish the core system if needed, but I believe we are ready to take over the world.
And also, we are also trying to have localization for each country in which we have an office, because we always use Odoo for us first. So when we have a country, we try to do the payroll ourselves. And then it's also a question of opportunity. If we have a good collaboration with the partner, giving us all the information and all the right computation, which is kind of what happened with Mexico, then we develop it and then it's available. So it can be also thanks to you that your country can be on the roadmap tomorrow.
Exactly.
All right, thank you very much for that. My next question will be, because you showed it a bit, and I think this is something that will maybe explode in the future. I hope so, because I really like that one. It's how is the job offer model customized? So I think it's more about salary configurator maybe, or how do you do that?
Of course. So actually, when you install the salary configuration application and you go in the configuration side of the payroll application, you have a sub-menu now on the salary package configurator, and you can actually decide for each salary structure which benefits and which type of benefits you have, and you can even link them to specific field in the employee model or directly to a salary rule. So those fields will, if linked to a salary rule, can be even affecting the computation from gross to net. And you can choose everything you want. You can even add some font or some icons and decide of if it needs a document mandatory or not. You can choose the type, the unit of measure, the display type, and the value for some selection if you want.
Yeah, and this has been made a bit more clear now. What you have to understand is that when you see a benefit, it has to be linked to a localization, because it's going to impact the payroll computation. Because before I was showing you the time off that David was taking, and you directly see the result in the net. So this benefit is linked to a rule to have the right amount, but either it's already implemented for your localization, either you can also implement it yourself if you are pretty confident about it, or you can also be helped with a consulting pack, so we can help you implement those benefits for your company. And even, sorry, Quentin, and even if you don't use those benefits, you can still use the salary configurator, because you can also just do it for the personal information part, to sign your documents online and save a lot of time, because the applicant don't have to come to your office, sign it, counter-sign it, so you can do everything online as well.
Okay, you sold it to me because I really like this feature, and it's highly customizable, and
we
sometimes forget about it, but it will ease the process of creating the employee.
Exactly, and I think it's really fashionable now to go over more salary transparency, and it's a really good way to show your employee that they can choose themselves what they want, and it will also ease a lot of the work on your HR people.
Yeah, and a last thing about that, because I love the feature as well.
Be careful for the time. I have plenty of questions, but I know we have the Ask Me Anything afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
But because I also really love this feature, if you're not from Belgium and what you don't know is that when you go on Odoo job, you can go choose a job and you will see the salary configurator. And actually I know so many of my friends that will go there to see what they could expect at the end of the studies, how much they could expect from a job at Odoo, and compare that when they apply for another one. So if you implement that for your country, for your client, that could be a very great feature to show and to get new clients.
It's as simple as the 5 clicks I did once on the Odoo page, and you get back the same salary configurator that we showed you. And so yeah, don't hesitate to apply also if you are interested in any job you see popping out over there.
Thank you for that. So next question, many companies, they record their time, but they do it with which application?
Timesheet.
So yeah, the question is here again. Is there any way actually to compute salaries or to...
Well,
to try to find another workaround, maybe to be able to still use timesheets and compute some salary rules?
What we noticed is that we don't think it's a good idea, because we already have some rules that can base the computation on the timesheet. But what we notice is that this timesheet is really important to invoice your client, but sometimes on some clients you will put more hours, you won't put them at the same time, and it's not really the time really worked by your employee, because it can be more, it can be different. So actually what we believe is that you should use attendance, you should use planning to pay your employee. Timesheet is not linked to it, but we are open to discuss it, and we are not the only one choosing. So it's also Fabien's call to say we are not going to based on timesheet. But I think if you prove it that some really good sectors need it, it's always a possibility, because technically we could add it, but it's more choice of feature, I would say.
Yeah, but I know, Pierre, that there is a way actually, if you do it on the rule.
Yeah,
you don't want to share that with us, or?
I don't think I'm gonna develop online.
It's too technical, but there actually you need to know that there is a way if you really need it.
On the rule, you can do
it's
Python
not
code.
Just as easy as clicking on a work and resource on your contract, but you could do it.
Yeah, basically we can compute the rules. What's great is that you can do Python code for your rules, and you can do custom one. As it's different from the other development, because there is no cost to it, no maintenance cost. But we actually did it for some country, typically in Africa, where the payroll is a bit simpler. You can implement the rules yourself, write the code, and in the code you can do a search environment on the account analytic line, which is the timesheet. You filter it on your employee at the right time, and then you get the right amount of timesheet. You time that by your hourly rate, and then you have it, basically.
So when we create an employee, it creates a contact directly. And people are asking, is this for private contact, or is this for professional information, that contact that is created?
It's at the beginning it's created upon the work information. So there is a synchronization on the phone number of the contact of the employee, basically, and those information are synchronized on the work information.
Yeah, because of course you want to avoid, I guess, to have private information in your contact application.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the contact is pretty useful, because everything is a contact in Odoo in a way. And if you have an employee that for any reason might be on a sale order, well, you need a contact for that as well. So it's just going to take the basic information, so you can also use this model in other applications.
I think we didn't talk about that one, because I see time flies and we won't have the time to cover all the questions. So I suggest for the questions that we didn't cover, we will just copy paste them into the other pads. That is because you do the Ask Me Anything right after, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's so there is the Ask Me Anything for all HR application just after. So it's not only payroll, but also recruitment, time off, attendances, referrals, and things like that.
And just checking if we can cover just one more. Let me check. Oh, I have a good one. Why can't we install only payroll without leave or time off? In some cases, we don't need this, and it adds a lot of fields on the employee, and people still say, "and contract."
So yeah, there won't be any contract anymore, but it's true that those fields are added. It's because it's really rare that you need to manage your payroll without managing your employee time. And time off is an essential part of your employee life. So we never thought about it, but why not making lives easier if we can, if you just want to manage your work entries maybe. But I don't see yet the use cases, the real one.
There is no, and even if you just install payroll, there is a dependency between the two, but that doesn't mean that's going to be additional cost. It still stays on the one app free.
Yeah.
So you have it, and if you want, you can hide it, but there is really no reason to not use it, because it's not going to make your database, not one application free.
And you could always use Studio to maybe hide the fields that you don't need if you really want to have a clean interface so that your user don't do anything wrong.
Okay, so we'll have to wrap up
Yes.
for now, but if you want to discuss it, we can still discuss that at the booth or during the Ask Me Anything section.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Thanks a lot guys for all the insights and congratulations again.
Thank you.